All right, today we are watching a program called Henry Browne Farmer, and this comes from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, circa 1942. So again, this was made right before the U.S. entered World War II, and I'm so curious about the title, Henry Browne Farmer. I wonder what Brown in this context means. That's the question I want you all asking going into this. So let's dive in, shall we? Directed by Roger Barlow, narrator Canada Lee. Wow, Canada as a first name. I've never seen that before. And composer Gene Farrell. I love this music already though. This is like ragtime music. All right, a pretty strong visual to be starting out on. I guess, again, this is like right in the era of World War II, so it makes sense that this sort of stuff is on people's mind, even when talking about farmers. But I guess this helps put us in place in time.
These are Americans on their way to the battlefront of democracy.
On their way to the battlefront of democracy. Interesting. So this might actually be like during World War II, actually, not right before it. It's hard to tell sometimes because even though the date is 1942, you have to imagine this program took time to produce. So it must have been made in 1941, maybe even 1940. So I don't know, sometimes I don't have a perfect grasp of the exact time period this was made, even if it says the date. I thought this was pre-war, but I guess it's during war.
Fighting men, dedicating their lives to securing a better world for all.
Securing a better world for all. See, again, it's so amazing, just, I don't know, the perception they had of World War II and what people were fighting for back then. You can clearly tell that this was supposed to be a good thing.
Soldiers of America. But we have another army. The men in plants and factories producing weapons for our fighting forces in an ever-growing flood.
But we have another army. All right, so the first army is the actual army, the people on the front lines getting shot at. But the second army is the industrial base that this country had. That's the argument that they just made, is that our second great strength is all the people we still had back home in America building stuff for us. I feel like that is a good point. That's what made America so much stronger than the rest of Europe at the time, is we both had an army and an actively working industrial base, whereas Europe had all that stuff destroyed. So I appreciate that point a little.
Our soldiers of production.
Soldiers of production. That's a good term for it. Soldiers of production.
And behind all these stand the broad, rich acres of America.
Yeah, I should have expected that, but I guess the backbone of even the factory workers are the farmers. I guess Henry Browne Farmer, I should have seen that coming a lot sooner, actually.
And the men who grow our food. Produce vital raw materials.
But look at this. This is a farm in America in presumably 1941, 42, around then. Like, wow. This is like the top of a hill, too. We're not even in like a nice flat plain. We're at the top. This is probably somewhere in like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia area. So like, I don't know. It's incredible that they're farming at the top of these hills. I bet this hill is like a forest now.
And give their sons that this land may remain free. This is the story of one such American farmer.
All right, the story of one such American farmer. This should be good. All right, here's your farm homestead, right? This is a classic site in 1940s America. Just some cleared land and a thrown together house like this. This is like the character of America for a certain time. Oh, is this a new construction right here? Cool. Or is this, no, is this like something else? It's almost like a small village.
This is Farmer Henry Browne, age 38, father of 3 children, farming 40 acres.
Farming 40 acres. So is he a mule and 40 acres kind of farmer? Did he get this land from, what was it, the Homestead Act? Was that what I'm thinking of? He got this land from some government grant is what that suggests to me. The exactly 40 acres, that is like something that the government offered people.
This year, Henry Browne is growing more.
But yeah, I feel like the elephant in the room right now is that this is an African American farmer. I think that's what's going to make this program so special and so interesting, is that we're specifically taking time to learn about the African American farmer and what his life is like, which is just so interesting because in a lot of these old programs, the issues of race relations is kind of just steamrolled right over. We never actually get to see or understand what race relations were like during this period. So I'm super excited to get to see a black man's farm in 1942. Like, this should be very interesting. I'm so curious about this guy's children now too. Like, what are his children are up to, or his grandchildren, or even great grandchildren probably. Like, I'm so curious already.
More on his farm than ever before. And to get their work done these fine summer days, he and his family have to be up with the sun. This is young Henry doing the milking.
See, I just feel like this is so uncommon. I don't want to say anything that would be too insulting, but I don't associate black people with farm work. I mean, I guess there is a certain way I can picture them, but like not independent, like homestead subsistence farming. Like, I feel like that is something that black people were always denied throughout the history of this country. So it's so cool and so interesting to see that wasn't entirely true. You know, like some black people did get to own land and have farms even back then, which is so fascinating. I feel like this really is a special glimpse into a special sort of farm in this country back in the time.
This year, for the first time, they have a cow. And young Henry is raising...
I mean, like, if he has a cow, he's doing pretty well as a farmer, right? Like, can I make that assumption? Maybe not. Maybe not in America does a cow instantly mean you're a good farmer, but, like, at least he's not going hungry immediately with this cow. And his kid, look at his kid, just milking this cow. Like, just, like, awesome, you know?
The calf as his own. This is going to be the best calf in the county.
But now I'm starting to get curious, like, how did this guy get his farm? Was it 40 acres and a mule? Is that what he got? Or is there some other sort of deal? I'm curious, like, what allowed this guy to own a farm? You know, again, 1940s wasn't the best time to be a black person. Probably a very difficult time to be a black farmer. Especially, like, you have to imagine the rural countryside of these states is even worse than the cities a lot of the time when it comes to perception of black people. So it must have been a hard life, to say the least, for multiple reasons, coming out and starting your own farm as an African American. So I'm so curious how he managed to do this, and if, you know, Henry Browne, if that really is his name, I doubt it is, but if that really is his name, if he succeeded in this endeavor in the end. I'm so curious.
Milk for breakfast. And eggs, too. Sister's raising 20 hens, most all good layers. Those that aren't good layers will make good eaters, she says.
Now I'm curious about the narrator. Oh, this is Canada. I forgot about that. But okay, so I don't know. I don't want to ask questions about the ethnicity of the narrator, but I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, it's starting to come up. I don't know. What ethnicity, what race is the narrator? Can I ask that? I don't know. I have no way of answering it, but I'm just curious. I'm just curious if they made a program about African American farmers and then specifically hired an African American voice narrator to narrate this program. Because I've watched other U.S. Agriculture programs and they're not narrated by a questionably African American person. So it sort of seems like they went out of their way to get an African American person to narrate this story specifically. But again, I can't even tell if Canada is black or not, so whatever.
Last year, there was just the same old cornbread and fat pack for breakfast. Filled you up all right, but didn't really build strong, healthy bodies.
Fills you up all right, but doesn't build strong bodies. You know, I feel like they're getting at something there.
Young Henry grows like Johnson grass.
They grow like Johnson grass? Is that an old type of grass? Like, I've heard of like Scotch grass and like Kentucky bluegrass, but I've never heard of Johnson grass. That must be like, yeah, that must be an outdated form of grass.
But even so, he's already begun to fill out. Father's got plenty to do today. Not that every farmer doesn't always have plenty.
I have to buy in and think this is a real story. You know, that's the problem with these old programs. I don't know if Henry Browne is a real farmer or if this is just a character that's being played like for, you know, U.S. Department of Agriculture propaganda or something. I have no idea what the truth behind this image really is. So I'm trying to dissect it and see whether or not I believe this story of Henry Browne or not. Like, is Henry Browne, that sounds like a character, you know, that doesn't sound like a person. Like Henry Browne the farmer sounds like what a white person would call the black farmers. The name Henry Browne to me reminds me a lot of the name Jim Crow. You know, Henry, just a regular name, but then Brown, just like Jim, regular name. Crow means black. Crows are black, you know. So Jim Black, you know, Henry Browne, like, I don't know. I don't know if this is perfectly truthful, but let's see, I guess.
Your work. But this year it's different. Different because this year it isn't just cotton and corn.
See, this guy's got 2 horses too. I don't know. He might be a successful farmer. 2 horses. That is like, I don't know. This ain't no 2-horse. Isn't that a phrase? No 2-horse town. Like, he's got 2 horses on his own, so he's pretty much a one-man town.
The government man said we needed more fats and oils to make up for what the Japs got.
More fats and oils to make up for what the Japs got. Again, very interesting what the purpose of this guy's farm is. Like, it kind of seems like the only reason we gave this guy a farm is because we were so desperate to defeat the Japanese and the Nazis. It seems like everything that he has is thanks to the US government wanting to defeat our enemies somehow. So it's just like, it's interesting. Again, did the US government really give farms or land to black people during World War II because all the white guys were out, you know, fighting the war or whatever? That is interesting to think how World War II advanced the social causes of black people in America. That's not a relationship you really instantly think about, but I guess here we are watching Henry Browne on his farm helping to outproduce the Japs, so that might be a reason why.
So Farmer Browne thought if peanuts were really needed, he'd try 15 acres of them. Sort of figured, too, it would be good for a man to try his hand at a new kind of crop. Yes, a good farmer, with respect for his land and the job it has to do. Last fall, he put lime and phosphate on 20 acres of the poorest part of his farm.
He put lime and phosphate, so he even is able to afford fertilizers, which, again, very interesting. Those are like industrial scale fertilizers, so he must have some money somehow. I'm so curious how a black man in this day and age rises to the ability of owning a farm and like owning a successful farm that pays for like fertilizers and whatnot. You know, like how did he get here? How did he achieve so much in a country that gave him so little to begin with? You know, I'm so curious about his story.
And now both he and his country will benefit from the better crop he'll harvest. If the weather holds, Henry figures on making a really fine crop of peanuts.
The weather holds. All right, so he's farming peanuts, which is a very, I don't know, very specific crop for a black person to be growing as well. But I guess stereotypes must come from somewhere, right? Like, I guess it would make sense for him to grow peanuts if that's all he knows. But that's interesting as well.
Before going out to help with the cotton chopping.
Cotton chopping. Okay, interesting. So he grows cotton. I wonder if he planted cotton or if he was given land with cotton plants growing on it and he just continues to maintain them. I wonder. It seems so weird to plant cotton on your own farm after all this. I don't know, but maybe it's a cash crop.
Mother tends her garden a bit. There's not much here that will be...
Dang, these are some nice looking tomatoes. All the way back then. I bet these tomatoes tasted mad good too. This is before like all the GMO tomatoes and stuff, so like this is some good eating right here.
Sold, but there's a lot here that will be eaten this summer, and some that's going to be put away for next winter. No, sir, the Browns won't be dependent.
Oh, we got squash. Yeah, this is really what you ought to be growing right here, squash. That's going to keep the family fed right there. Dang, this guy has like a pretty diverse selection of food crops going on right here. Like, I'm impressed.
Depending on a grocery store, they'll leave canned things for people in cities who just can't grow their own vegetables.
What is this? Is this corn? It looks like corn. Is this his wife or is this him? Is that insulting? I think that's his wife. This is his daughter, and she's cleaning out the chicken coop. This is so funny. It's like it's a perfectly functional farm. That's what's so funny about this is I'm really just watching normal plain Americans just farming and going about their daily lives. But what makes it special is that they're not just normal plain Americans. The only real difference between this and just a whole bunch of normal plain Americans farming is that they're black. Like that's the whole purpose of this program, is to illustrate that black people in America farm and just live lives pretty similar to the rest of white people. Like that's the propaganda that is in this program. Is it's trying to convince us that black people have like equal access to things like farms and economic opportunities and stuff. So I'm trying to understand why they made this specific program, and I think it was to convince some black people, it was to propagandize some black people in America to again support the war effort, whatever it took. Like we needed all hands on deck for the war, even the black people, and I feel like that's part of why this program was made to begin with, was just to earn the respect or support of the African American community.
Sister's a pretty good farmer, too. She certainly works hard tending her chickens. Must be worth the trouble, though, because she's got a mighty healthy flock.
Yeah, look at all these chickens. This family is doing, like, real well, if you ask me. Like, they probably got mad eggs. There's newborn chickens here, too. Like, yeah, they're good. That's what's so weird about this. This is actually like the wealthiest black family of 1942, Like, I hate to say that, but like, I'm pretty sure it's true, or I'm pretty sure there's some truth to that. Like, I have to imagine this guy's family now, again, assuming this is all a true story, right? Assuming that these are actually this farmer's children and whatnot, like, assuming that's true, these people now, this family is probably like the richest black family in the area. Like, this is actually a probably like wealthy black family now, Like, right now, while we're watching it, it's still like, I don't know, it's still modest farming, but like, I bet because of the opportunity and the generational wealth that this family was able to build because of the farm that they owned, I bet now this family is like really well off. I'm curious if that's true or not. Maybe they lost it all, but like, just based on what I've seen, like, I hope this family now is like a big part of this community or something. Are these hoes? I'm pretty sure these are actual hoes right here. Hang on, this sort of does look like a cotton field. Dude, we gotta get back to this aesthetic though. These dresses, I'm appreciating the attire of these ladies. I just feel like if you're gonna go farm in your own farmland, like you might as well wear stuff like this. I don't know, it seems nice just to like, it seems so nice and calm just to like go out into a farm in your own dress or whatever, sundress. I'm not gonna wear a sundress, but like to go out in your farm in like one garment and just like do stuff. I don't know, seems nice, seems very freeing. I hope these people really appreciated the life they had, because it seems like they lived a really, I don't want to say privileged life based on where they are and what's going on around them, but like they definitely got to live a better life for the circumstances they were born into. Perceivably, at least. Perceivably, that's what I'm seeing. Again, this could all be made up and staged. Like, I really have no idea.
"40 acres of land. Not particularly good land either."
40 acres of land, but not particularly good land. So where are they? I feel like they have to be just like in the Appalachian Mountains somewhere.
A barn that isn't big or even new.
Farm that's not big or new. Okay, so maybe he inherited some crops that were already planted here or something. Again, it seems weird for there to be cotton already growing here. I guess this is probably the South then. This is probably like not Virginia. This is probably like the Carolinas or like Georgia or somewhere. That would actually make a lot more sense if this was Georgia.
And no tractor. Just a team of mules, an understanding of the earth and things that grow, and long hours of hard work for everyone. Doesn't seem like much, but these are the sort of things that make a farmer, like putting a new board on the barn when it's needed, and saving those burlap fertilizer bags last fall.
Saving those burlap fertilizer sacks from last fall. That's funny. That's funny how that's like a thing that, I don't know, was a farming secret, I guess, is saving the burlap sacks for something else. Like, that's funny how, like, reusing stuff in a different way was, like, secret techniques to them.
Now we need 'em badly, and we're glad they weren't thrown away. And because his farm machinery was greased and put under cover when not in use, it will probably last for the duration, and that's important. Because as long as our factories are turning out tanks and guns, we just have to make everything last.
As long as our factories are turning out tanks and guns, we just need to make everything last. Again, that's an insight into the mindset of the people during this time. That, like, our country as a whole was desperate for materials, for resources, for labor, for everything. And it's so crazy again to hear that sort of idea permeate every aspect of American life. Like, everything we did was because of the war effort to a certain degree. It's just, again, it's crazy to hear that sort of stuff.
Even the land. Oh, yes, the land can be wasted. If Farmer Browne hadn't planted those peanuts in rows following the contours of the slope, rain could wash away both his crop and...
Interesting. So if Farmer Browne hadn't planted those peanuts on the contours of this hill, everything might have been washed away. So they're actually like patting him on the back saying, wow, you actually did a really good job of planting this field, that you're not going to lose any of it to inefficiency or whatever. I'm impressed by that. Who taught this guy how to plant on contour, you know?
Spend his land. And right now, this land of Farmer Browne and all the other farmers is mighty important to our country, because we need more peanuts for oil.
More peanuts for oil? That's really what we needed peanuts for during this time? What were we using peanut oil for? Can somebody let me know in the comments? What was the function of peanut oil that we were so in need of, like, peanut farmers? That's so funny how the need for peanut oil might have been the cause for black people to be given farms in this time. You know, like, so many black people might have been given farms, 40 acres, just for the purpose of growing peanut oil. That's so crazy how the effects of our needing peanut oil are still present in this country today. You know, like the wealth that this family was able to build up because of being given this farm or this land probably still exists, probably still affects that family today. So it's crazy to think that, like, our need for peanut oil is like the thing that's driving this guy's farm.
More long staple cotton. More food.
More cotton as well. I mean, I guess we did need cotton for, like, uniforms and stuff, but I don't know. It's also still a questionable thing to have on your farm. I wonder how he felt about it. You know, that's more than anything. Like, I want to ask him, like, do you mind growing cotton? Like, what's that like? I don't know. I feel like I need to hear his opinion on it. I mean, I guess his opinion is that he grows it on his land, so I guess that's all the opinion you need, but it's just, I don't know.
So it's up to everyone to make the most of every acre of land and every bushel of seed that goes into it. Saturday afternoon. And of course, this is the day farmers go to town. Sister sells...
Oh man, we get to watch the farmers go to town. This should be interesting because we'll get to see what the other people of the town look like as well. Like, is this going to be a black farmer going into a white town to sell his goods? Or is this going to be a black farmer going to, like, a black farmer's town and we're going to get to see all the other black farmers? Like, I'm so curious. I really hope I'm not, like, just shooting myself in the foot by having a fun time with this, because I really do find this interesting. This is such a different glimpse into America than we usually get. Like, I've said it a few times now, but, like, most of the time in these old programs, the black people are just completely ignored. Like, they're not even taken into account. So it's just so special that we're actually getting to spend time with black people from the 1940s. You know, I've spent so much time with white people from the 1940s. I've spent so much time with Indian people from the 1940s, but very little time with black people from the 1940s. So I feel like this is just such a unique insight into a very specific part of this country.
Some eggs, and mother and father market, and like to visit with friends. But even so, it's rather early. This must be something special today.
Oh man, what's the special thing bringing these farmers to the market early? I don't know. Oh man, there's something I could guess, but I don't know. Oh wow, so this is a whole farming community. I wonder if this was like all black farmers. That would have been a blast for these guys, you know? Like I don't want to say it, but like if you all just got out of slavery and got your own farms, like dude, that's like paradise at that point. I don't know. Obviously not the before part, but I don't know. When I think about slavery, the only happy ending that I can really picture is something like this, where like all the skills that you were forced to learn as a slave kind of just get applied to your own independent life as well. You know, like, oh, I learned how to farm, like now I own my own farm. Like that's the only way to truly make use out of the skills that all the slaves were forced to have acquired. I don't know, it's so fascinating. There's so much to be said about this time. I feel like totally the wrong person's trying to say it all, but like there's definitely some very interesting analysis to be made about the character of this country based on this. Like even the music is different too, you know? Like if this was a white farmer, these would be like trumpets and like snare drums. But no, instead we're listening kind of like to the blues. I don't even know what this is, but like it feels like they even purposefully adapted the music to fit the subject material. That is a funny shot though, that we just watched like 10 seconds of just the canopy of trees above this horse carriage. You know, like again, another little artistic addition to the to the scene. Wow, look at this road. That's so funny. This road looks like brand new asphalt or something. Like it is dark as night, which means it's probably brand new. Which again, that's so interesting to think that the government just paved this road because they were trying to get, you know, black people to start farms here so that we would have more peanut oil. Again, it all goes back to the peanut oil, I guess, but it's so interesting to see a new road in a place like this too. Maybe it's not. It looks like a new road though. That does not look like a gravel road or anything. Is this a Lowe's? Why do I recognize this little building right here? It looks like a Lowe's. Oh, it's a W.J. Brantley. Interesting. See, America used to have stores like that were just the names of people.
Aren't they going to stop?
Macon. Okay, Macon. That's the bowling alley. Macon. Macon. Is that a county? I'm pretty sure that's a county in Georgia. Macon County. I'm pretty sure this is Georgia. That would make perfect sense if this was Georgia. If this was Macon County, Georgia, like, I could have guessed that at the beginning.
Well, they're going right on through town.
Interesting. All right, so this is Macon. Is Macon also a city or is it just a county? I have to imagine this is the city of Macon as well. Am I saying it right? I have no idea if I'm even saying it right. Macon? Macon? I don't know.
What's got sister so excited?
For a second, I thought that was the sister actually saying it, but no, that was the narrator.
Well, no wonder they didn't stop in town. No wonder those young'uns are excited. It's a visit to Big Brother, who's a cadet training with the 99th Pursuit Squadron.
It's a visit to Big Brother. Interesting, interesting. So yeah, they're definitely, I don't know if I'm the only one, but like it feels like during this time, the US government is trying their hardest to be nice to black people because we want them to join the army and farm peanuts for us. You know, like this is the first time it feels like the actual US federal government cares about black people. And the only reason they care is not because of their presence in this country, but because we want to win the war on the other side of the world. The war in the Pacific and Europe is what created this need for us to accept black people into our community, into our country, into like our society, really. So it's fascinating to see how World War II even affected our perception of black people in this country. It's so fascinating. I don't know if anyone else is so fascinated by this, but like, again, like this family is doing like the all-American family thing to do. You know, they have a son in the army, they're farming, like they're just doing everything that's perfectly American. And it's so fascinating to see it happen like this.
This is something special, all right. Why, maybe there'll even be a chance to watch him fly.
Like, they're also trying their hardest to convince black people that this is like a fair situation that they have. You know, like they're trying to convince people that this is good, that they are patriotic, and they do deserve to love America the same way. I don't know. It's just it's trying to convince black people of a reality that I can only assume was just like not true. You know, like I have to imagine these people knew better than to assume the US government actually like valued them because of the war. Dude, of course this white guy has his own like safari hat too. Like of all the places to see a random safari hat, like of course. And he has a weird like arm badge as well. It's just so bizarre to even think that, like, these people are using two horses to get around. Everyone else has cars, but this family of black farmers, I guess they don't have a car. They literally have to use these horses to get around. Like, they are in their car. That's so interesting as well. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, everyone else is able to afford a car, but I guess they don't have a car. I didn't really pick up on that until now, until I saw them in this parking lot. Again, this is just so contrary to like the idea of like race relations in America that I was taught. You know, I was taught that like, I don't know, something like this would never happen. But I guess I'm learning that I don't know, there was some openness to American society even before the civil rights movement. Like you were allowed onto a military field or whatever. When I say regular, yes, I do mean white. I know. I shouldn't say anything, but like, yeah, that's what I meant by saying regular. See, again, like, is this story true? Is this older brother a real member of the armed services? Like, again, I hope so, but like, I just don't know to trust this story or not. Like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I really hope that this older brother truly is like a decorated US Army pilot. You know, like, that would be so cool to know. I really hope the story that I'm being told is true right now. Again, you can see that they're talking to each other, but we're not getting the dialogue because this is still sort of the silent film era. Like, we're listening to narration, but none of the dialogue has been captured. So we are getting those moments of just characters talking to each other and us not hearing. So yeah, we're just watching them mouth the words, and maybe the narrator will tell us. Wow, just like that, he just like put on a parachute and he's ready to get into this plane. Like, I feel like there would be more prep than that. Again, it is pretty cool that we like trusted black people to do this. I know that sounds kind of wonky as well, but like when you understand how much like hate and distrust like the white people of the South had for black people during this time, I don't know. It does seem like progress that we're putting black people in our like warplanes. As ridiculous as that sounds, like that is like a step in the right direction, I would say. See, but this shot right here makes me think this is all staged. Like, really, this like farmer family just came out randomly, perfectly in timed with when these like pilots are gonna take off. Like, nah, I feel like this is all staged. This is not real at all. But I guess these pilots are real pilots, so I don't know. Yeah, that's the real question. Did the older brother, the guy playing the older brother, is he actually in these planes? Is he actually going to fly one of these planes? That's really what I want to know. Again, this is all just propaganda until proven otherwise. This also seems like mad dangerous. Are they like taking off all at the same time? Like, like I understand flying in formation, but aren't you supposed to like take off one at a time? I don't know. I guess I don't. I guess I have no idea. It just seems dangerous to be doing that. Dude, like this shot, are you telling me this guy is African American? Really? I don't know. I don't know. Gosh, I don't buy it. This guy, I don't know. I don't know. That's all I gotta say.
Farmer Browne and his wife are mighty proud of their son, and so are we. But we're also proud of Farmer Browne. Proud of him because he's doing his job, an important job, raising more livestock, saving his land, and growing more of the things we need. And proud of him just for being an American that we can count on.
Wow, see, like, isn't that crazy that they are proud of him just for being an American? Like, I did not think that we had this amount of camaraderie already with, like, the African American population. I thought there was a lot more tension between us during this time. So it is really nice to hear that sort of stuff coming from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Like, this is presumably what the government wants itself to believe. So all right, this guy, I don't know. I guess he's black. I guess he just I don't know. I should not have made this big of a deal of it, but I guess here I am.
At a time when every American has an important job to do.
That's funny how the conclusion is, yeah, Farmer Browne is so accepted by our society that we let his son kill himself in the war effort. You know, like, yeah, that's kind of a prize that your son is, like, accepted into the military, but, like, is it really a prize that we just let your kids die alongside ours? Like, I guess that's a respect thing, but, like, I don't know. I wouldn't actually mind if the U.S. Army was like, no, we won't take you guys. Like, you're not allowed to die on the battlefields of Europe for us. Like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't want to anyway. Like, I get it for sure. But, like, I guess because I don't want to fight in a war, that colors my opinion of it all. But I guess that was the end. Yeah, the end. All right, so that was interesting. That was a bit of a different lens than what we usually watch these yellows with, this might have been a red. I don't know. Nothing bad happened. So I think this is still a yellow. We're still just learning about history and like American society, but there is the added aspect that this was an African American farmer. So I don't know, like very interesting to actually get a glimpse not only into the American farm life, but the African American farm life of the 40s. Like that is just something that I have not gotten in on this channel at all, really, is getting to actually see African Americans and how they lived during this time. Because I have mentioned that I've been so curious about it because they're so often just left out of things that I am so glad I actually got to see black people alive during the 40s doing something. Because based on the other programs I've watched, you might believe that that wasn't the case, you know? So even just like being acknowledged at all is kind of a win for these guys. Again, I'm so curious how they got their land though. I'm just reviewing all the footage and it's just like, how do they get 40 acres? Like this is a huge farm, like good for them. But it's just like, how do I get 40 acres nowadays? You know, like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how can I be like this guy? Listen, I'll give my oldest son up to the U.S. Air Force if I get to have 40 acres and 2 more children. Like, I'll make that deal as well. But yeah, overall, I would say this was very interesting. Again, the most interesting thing to me is how World War II forced our society to change, forced our culture to change. Prior to World War II, I don't think we were all about cooperating with African Americans. I think prior to World War II, it was a lot more segregation and a lot less equality happening. But during World War II, you can actually see the country itself was forced to reconcile with this people that existed in our country that could have been productive had we just invested in them. And we finally see our country investing in African American communities. And it's just like, it's so interesting knowing that World War II is the thing that led to African Americans sort of being more accepted within the economic system of America and the social system of America as well. It's just like, obviously black people were here the whole time, but like this feels like the first time they're being brought into the greater American society or like the rest of American society. Like this very much feels like we're finally accepting the fact that black people are a part of America. They're not some other thing that's not American. They are as American as anything else. And you can see through this that they are equally worth propagandizing, really. Like that's I hate to say it like that, but like they are Americans, they're here. Like we need to control what they think because what they think matters. That's really what we're seeing here, is the US government valuing the thoughts and opinions of African Americans and creating propaganda in order to influence those thoughts. Like this is an admission that we actually do care what black people in America think, you know? Like even if it doesn't seem like that, this is very much us admitting we want you guys to be with us and think a certain way that, you know, helps us out. So very interesting. I feel like another person watching this could even dive deeper than I did. I'm definitely not the best suited for this sort of analysis, but I hope at least I let you guys recognize some interesting things, and maybe you guys can take it even further in the comments, because this really is a very interesting window into a very interesting part of American history and culture and society. So yeah, very enjoyable. I feel like I got to see a whole lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting to see today. And I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did and you would like to help support what I do here, you can follow the link in the description that'll take you over to the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive is where I get all these old programs. So if you want to support me, donate to them. And with that, I think we're ready to cut to black.